Hey friends, welcome back to a new Python challenge. This time we have some data and we have to deal with, let's say, a messy column, which is the costs which occur, and we need to sum them up. So how do we do this? Let's have a look at first. So I imported Pandas, I used PD as an abbreviation, and I read the data because it's a CSV file. I took a look at the shape itself. So the data itself consists of, in this case, 13,320 rows and 10 columns. And I took a look with the data.head format at the first 5 entries. If you want to see more, just type in the number of rows inside those brackets. So we can see area type, availability, location, size, society, and some numbers here like total square foot, bath, balcony, other costs, and price. But the interesting part for us is this other costs column. So for the price, it's kind of easy, right? Because we can see a number and we can sum this number, we can calculate the average, the mean, mode. So all these measures are available for us, right? That's not an issue. The problem is with this other costs. We can see that the cost itself contains here several information. In this case, I think it's Indian lakh, concerning the number itself, so it's a currency, but we can see the numbers inside this text. So our goal here is to extract the actual numbers from the text first, so get rid of all the non-numeric characters in here, and then sum up the individual numbers to get the total cost. And when we have this, then of course we can calculate here the difference between price and cost, and we can of course do all the other kinds of numerical operations on this column. But let's actually start first with cleaning the column. And before we continue, always keep in mind that cleaning data is the part which data scientists actually spend, let's say, 80% of their time. So this is really the biggest issue. It's not about building those fancy machine learning models and the deep learning models and so on. So using TensorFlow, PyTorch, or scikit-learn and so on. So all this is great, but this can also or only be done actually if we have calculated here the correct numbers, right? So if we have cleaned our data frame. Okay, so enough for that. Let's actually do this. I think the most easiest way to solve this challenge is to use regular expression. So if you're familiar with them, good. If not, you might also write this in the commentary section of the video, and then maybe I might make some videos in the future about that. But I already used it here, so let me just uncomment this first, like that. And what I want is, I want to have a complete new column in here, which has the name clean cost list. And what I will do is, I will refer to the column here, so to the costs. You can either do it with a dot here, or you put it in brackets and put it in quotes, other costs, to refer to the other costs column here. Both is possible. Then we use a string function. That's why we need to call string first, because by default it's a series object. So we call dot string here, dot string here, and then find all. And we are searching here for only numbers. So \d plus means simply, it's a regex function, or expression, it simply means all the numbers. And we also use a dot here, and then again a number, because it might be a decimal number, as we can see here with 2.0, 1.76, and so on. Important is also the plus symbol. The plus symbol simply means we are searching for one or more numbers. So it doesn't matter if it's 2.0 or 20.0 or 2,000,000.0, right? With the plus symbol, we get the complete number. And then if I execute this, let's have a look at that. We'll see that now we have a new column in here, which is this clean cost. Now because we used the find all method, of course we return all the individual numbers. And this is why we get a list here. So 2.0, 1.76, 3.7. So this is already helpful because we removed all the unnecessary text in here, but still, currently we have a string object which consists here of several numbers in a list. So our goal now is to actually compute the sum of all those individual numbers. So in order to do this, we can do it the following way. We can iterate through each row in the data frame. So because, let me just show it to you. If I use here the data, and then referring to, use brackets notation now, my clean costs list here, and I'm referring to the first element, like using the 0 here, and execute this, I will get exactly the individual numbers. But I can see they are in quotes, which means they are currently strings, right? These are not numbers. But what we could do is now this expression here. So for I row in data.iterRows is simply a function, or actually an expression, which allows us to iterate row by row through our Pandas data frame. And then what we do is we use the current location, because we used I, which means for the first row 0, for the second row 1, and so on. And then for the location, we referring to the total cost column, which is then the new column we create. And this column consists of the row price, which starts here, this one here, and then we added the cost here, right? So we use here a plus symbol. Of course, you can also subtract the cost. It depends on what you want to do. But the idea is to use the sum function, and we use here, in this case, list comprehension. We convert each element, which is x, is referring to 2.0, 1.76, and 3.7. We convert it with the float into a numerical figure, and we use float, not integer, because it's a decimal number. And then we say for x in row clean cost list. So basically a list comprehension, converting each individual number into a number, so from string to number, and then we sum it up. And we also added the row price, which you can also can remove if you want, or you can subtract those two values. It's up to you. But the main expression is this expression here. And this allows us then to actually calculate the sum of those numbers, including with the row price, of course, the sum of the price. So let's execute this. Let me run this. It might take a little bit, depending on the computer hardware, of course, and also on the size of the data frame, but you can see now we are good. And now if I take a look at my output, run this here, I can see I got a new column at the end, which contains of those total cost in here. And this is now the price here, plus the individual items from here, right? So maybe just to show it to you, we could also say it like that. If I remove this and only referring to the, in this case, the list itself, let me execute it one more time. And then let also execute the data.head, so we can see exactly what we get. So 7.46, which is exactly 2.0 plus 1.76 plus 3.7. And the same is true then for the next row and the next row. Okay? So that's it actually for this little trick. And so the challenge. So hopefully that was helpful to you. If so, then please write it in the comments. Give your feedback here. Is this something you want to see? Do you want to see more of this or want to see something else? Just let me know. And I will try my best then to do it. So otherwise, please, if you liked the video, then please give the video a thumbs up. I would highly appreciate it. And if you have not done so far, then please consider subscribing to the channel, because it also means you're interested into that, you want to see more, and also means for me to create more videos for you. Okay? So that's it. Please, you and your family stay safe, and hopefully see you in the next video. Until then, best guys.